Beautiful. All right, let me make sure I get my All right, team, good afternoon. Woo. Good afternoon, team. How are ya? Yeah. must still be in playing bowling for a lot of you. Again, good afternoon, team. How are ya? Happy Wednesday, June 29th already, folks. Guess what?
Now we're halfway.
Now we're halfway through. Yeah, third quarter of the year. And what do we have going on this weekend too, right? 4th of July weekend. So we're super excited. Anyone have plans? Going out of town? Doing illegal fireworks? You're doing what? Oh my God, that's awesome. All right. A little sad, a little emotional, right?
Well, it's moving on and
Yeah. Of course. What parent does, right? Anyone else going out of town? I heard people are going to Lake Havasu. How cool is that? Some people are going camping. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Next slide, please. All right, as always, we start with our mission and our vision to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best possible life. Our belief, when the values of your company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home, and our vision to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of choice. Yes, all right. Next slide. All right, let's welcome Sean, who was nice enough to bring us this phenomenal one.
My name is Sean Perfect. A lot of familiar faces in here, but for those of you who don't know me, I am the local area manager for First American Home Warranty. I cover the El Segundo through Rolling Hills area. It's a small territory, but it does allow me to become more involved with you and your clients, especially during the home policy, the home warranty buying process. I do like to talk about that. I had a meeting this morning and we talked about how do you guys write it when you guys are writing your RPAs. Aaron, just because I'm familiar with you, you're like one of my good friends. How do you write it in the RPA? In page 3, what do you usually put?
I put well the name of the company and your name.
Right.
And then I just put an amount.
Not to exceed a certain amount. Okay. So that's a really great way. A lot of people will put First American Home Warranty, Sean Perfect, not to exceed $600. It's a good round number for a single family home here in the South Bay. If it's less than 5,000 square feet, then all of the pricing in the brochures are going to be applicable to your homes. I have some agents, what they'll do is they'll put in the RPA, buyers to choose services during escrow. This will stop escrow from ordering the policy, but it'll also prompt them to reach out to the buyer's agent saying, hey, you have $600 to use. How do you want to spend it? Because sometimes escrow, and I'm not blaming escrow because I know escrow's in this room. I love escrow. Because she probably doesn't want to order them anyway. I mean, she probably does it for you as a courtesy and because she loves you guys, but it should be the buyer's agent with the buyers discussing where this money is going. So do not just let escrow order it. Do not just let whomever order it, some TC, the listing agent, because I don't know if they're going to really have the same interest as you do with your buyers. Okay, with that said, I left you a flyer. The flyer on your desk talks about when, I'll give you girls. It talks about when claims are placed. So just a couple numbers. I love numbers stick. Homeowners have 60 days after the close of escrow to make any changes to the policy. I believe that's the 60 days to save. So they have 60 days to add something to the policy if something wasn't added, or if something was added and it's not included, like if they've got AC coverage and there's no AC, we can switch it around so that way they can have the coverage associated with the home. And then it just also talks about how 50% of buyers have a home warranty claim within the first year. So if anyone is writing, offers without the home warranty, is that really smart? Are you really doing justice for your buyers by writing a quote unquote clean offer without the home warranty? So please keep that in mind. Also remember, they do still get the benefits of the pricing 60 days after. So if you guys close without a home warranty, you have 60 days to get one on. Okay? Thank you for having me.
Is there anything that happens, does that trigger an inspection or anything if they don't get it before close of escrow,
No. I know it makes sense and I know where you're going with that, but no, we do not ask for it. It's a kind of ethic. We just,
Okay.
You guys also offer seller's coverage during the listing?
yes, we do. We offer seller's coverage for 99 cents a day. You can put it on as soon as you get the listing. I have some agents that will use that in their listing presentation. When they go and they meet with their sellers, they'll say, hey, if you list with me, we can put this certain coverage on. And then depending if it's a very important listing or if you're really trying to impress the sellers, you can also offer to pay for it at the close of escrow. Which, if something goes into escrow, how long does it last? 60 days, so $60. Okay, anything else? My phone number and everything is in the back, so if you guys have questions that pop up later, please let me know. I'm so happy to help, and thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you. Let's give them M&Ms too, so make sure. She's not selling them, by the way. All right, awesome. So next slide, I'm really excited, myself and the entire leadership of obviously the newcomer. So we'd like to welcome Evelyn Romero. Is Evelyn here? Yay, awesome. So honored and grateful. And you came to the best office in the South Bay. Yeah. Awesome. Let's continue. Next slide, please. All right, just a couple of announcements. Some of the stuff that we are having this Wednesday, July 6th. There's no cost in this training. You can scan if you want to scan on your phones right now, but all this will be sent out to you. 8 easy steps to turn your assistant into a major profit center. That's Wednesday, July 6th, 10 a.m. to 10:30. Okay, that's part of MAPS coach Monica Reynolds. Next slide. We also have shifting market. Get the right list price every time. Great for price reduction conversations. Who's having conversation on price reduction?
You made adjustments.
Adjustments. There you go. There you go. You know that price is taking right? It's a very important topic. Very important. Because what are we seeing right now in the market? Properties are staying a little longer, right? Days on market. So it's knowing how to have that conversation. So that'll be Thursday, July 7th, 10:30 to 11:30. Again, you can scan to register, no cost to you. All right, next slide. Awesome. I know Ed is really pushing this. July 12th at 11 a.m. We got list and sell 1 million a month with command and Facebook. All right, utilizing the tools that we have, and this is with our new tech trainer for the region, Nick Baldwin. Anyone follow Nick? I encourage you to follow Nick. Yeah, follow Nick.
Can I add it? So
Please.
we are so blessed. As you guys know, we haven't had a whole lot of command support in the office, in the last year. I mean, we had Scott Leroy, but he's remote. He's become less available as he's gotten busier. So what's really cool is that in the last month, we brought on Sean Hasler, who's on the call. I see him down there. What's up, Sean?
What's up, Sean?
Sean is our new market center tech trainer. He's here not too far away. He's going to come here and visit. Was it once or twice a quarter, right? We also have some stuff going on that's specifically for the market center. He's our market center tech trainer. He's gonna have classes and all sorts of stuff getting us all plugged in so you can utilize command, which has gotten really good. So if you haven't checked out command lately, check it out. In addition to that, the region, so the whole California coastal region has gotten a new regional tech trainer, which is Nick Baldwin. Some of you guys may already know of him already. He's really one of the founders, I think, of Lab Code Agents, right? You guys, anybody follow Lab Code? So he's very involved in that community. Super knowledgeable guy. I was on the phone with him yesterday. He's just amazing. He's going to be here in a couple team meetings to give you guys kind of like a 20-minute overview of what's the latest going on in command, which is really cool. And then, but we've got both of these guys available to us, which is so cool. Sean's going to be doing classes, and in particular, I highly recommend going to this one on July 12th, which Nick Baldwin is going to be teaching all about how to use Command and Facebook to build a pipeline, which right now we want more leads than ever, right? So hope you guys can make it.
So just a question, do we,
Yeah.
Do we get a final, 5 minutes even poll? Is that a final accepted file?
I would be happy to excuse your foul, but Michael, man, yeah, she is. So, I would, I don't think she would.
I don't think she'd like you to
Yeah.
graduate.
I don't know. So I don't quote me or anything. So don't get Michael in that. Maybe she'll like stalk me.
The accountability aspect of it, yeah, she's pretty tough, brutal. But yeah, take advantage. This guy is phenomenal. And follow him on social media. I have a lot of YouTube subscribers, but more so a lot of information in how you can navigate and utilize Command. So it's a great learning tool for you. So July 12th. All right, let's continue. Next slide, please. Thanks, Ed. Sure. Quantum Leap with Gene Rivers. Does everyone know Gene Rivers? He's we've had him several years back. He's such a phenomenal instructor, top notch, and he's going to be talking to us. Oops. Yeah, there she goes. I thought it was my touch screen, but I didn't have a touch screen. So yeah, Quantum Leap with Gene Rivers. That'll be July 22nd from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. A lot of the fundamentals, and you'll learn some of the tools that start each day doing 5 things that will build success. Learn how to separate the must-dos from the could-dos, and so on and so forth. So again, take full advantage of all the stuff that we have here to provide you as an avenue to really take your business to the next level. So again, Quantum Leap with Gene Rivers. That's July 22nd. From 9 to 4 p.m. Okay, if you have any questions, please let us know. The cost is a very low, $29. All right, next slide. All right, one of our special guests, our newest MCTT, Sean. How are you, sir?
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me here today. Obviously, you guys, some of you guys have already had the opportunity to meet me. Hopefully, everyone can hear me loud and clear as well. I just wanted to take a few minutes today. I know that we had some great introductions. We have Nick Baldwin joining us now as our regional tech trainer. So the class that he's offering on the 12th, guys, I would highly recommend taking that class. He is a social media lead generating expert. He has been running Facebook ads since Command was found, basically inside the system. So I would definitely recommend being there on the 12th for that class. Quantum Leap, guys, I just took Quantum Leap myself. That was phenomenal. So if you guys have the opportunity to take that, I would highly recommend it. And Gene's a great person to take classes with. Obviously, I'm not here to talk about that right now, but I just wanted to lead in with that because I thought those were some great classes that you guys were just talking about. Today, I actually just wanted to give you guys a quick little glimpse into a tool that we have access to inside of Command. Some of you guys might be already familiar with this, but some of this might be a brand new tool to you guys. What you're looking at right now is your sales pipeline. So I highly recommend that whether you're using Command for your CRM, you're using it just for marketing, whatever it is, I think that this is one of the most beneficial tools because this gives us clarity into our business. What are we going to close this month, this year, or this quarter? It breaks it down listings, buyers. If you guys work with leases as well, it breaks us down into leases. Though the one thing that I really wanted to dive into on today, I'm going to keep this nice and short, but I really wanted to show you guys the ability to create checklists so we can really create that customer experience and be able to set ourselves apart from the rest of the competition. What is it that we do for every single one of our buyers and every one of our sellers when they go from the cultivate phase to get the appointment? After we go on the appointment, what are we doing for those particular individuals? If we're on a team, are we doing these aspects, or is there an admin that's doing some of these items and then a buyer agent completing some of these items as well? I know myself, I've been an agent for over 5 years. Before Command was available, I had a lot of my systems just on an Excel sheet. I was going through and having to go review, did I complete this item? There was not really a system to that. Though inside of Command, they have changed all that for us and allowed us to really build a robust pipeline from the cultivate phase all the way through to the close of a transaction. So I know I'm going kind of quick through this, guys. I'm going to mention it now, but I'll also mention it at the end. Guys, on July 11th, so the day before Nick Baldwin's teaching his class, I am teaching a class at 12 o'clock on July 11th that will dive directly into this topic. So we'll go really deep dive into this for a full hour. So I know this is quick, and I'm just giving you a quick overview. Though what we're looking at here is your entire sales pipeline. It breaks it down for me that I know exactly what closing in 7 to 12 months, 4 to 6 months, 0 to 3 months out. Everything is fully customizable that you're looking at. So to take it one level deeper, you have the ability to create custom checklists. What do I need to do for every transaction or every client that is looking to sell their home in 4 to 6 months, or every client that's looking to sell their home in 3 months? It breaks it down and allows me to create a full checklist where I'm able to set due dates for each of these items to be completed. And now what we're looking at right now is just the checklist items for someone that's in the 7 to 12 months out, or 4 to 6 months, which is going to be completely different from someone that's in appointment or versus active. The great part is every single section of the transaction has its own specific checklist that's available inside of it. So if I'm over here looking at active listings, I'm going to just come in here to edit checklists because I don't have any active listings right now. You'll see that I have a completely different set of checklist items for everything that I need to do when I am in transaction or when I have an active listing that I'm currently preparing. The other thing that you'll see is there's some icons that have email or mail icons next to them. Those are going to automatically notify my client when I complete them. So all I have to do is mark a task as complete. The system will know that I complete it and send an email on my behalf to my client. So it's just really creating a robust system that's going to help automate it as well. Now, I know I'm going through a lot of this quick. I do want to show one other thing that I mentioned. So this is in my personal pipeline. I do just want to switch over to Teams for a minute because I know there are probably some teams here on our meeting as well. So one of the coolest things that you have here in the team feature, I'm going to go over here to active listings, for example, and click on a test listing that I created earlier today. And I have the 7 checklist items that I have for when I'm preparing a listing. What do I need to complete? And this is where I have the ability to assign different tasks. So maybe that I need to send a copy of the contract. That's something that my admin maybe does. To clean up the house, that's something that I need my admin to take care of. Or maybe that's someone that I need my admin to call and set up. Staging the house, maybe that's something that I take care of. So you're able to go in here and really assign who's doing what and then give them due dates for each of the individual tasks as well. Now, this just allows you to create those robust systems. So that way, also when you're having a client appreciation event at the end of the year or once a quarter, however often you're holding those, and clients are mingling and they're saying, oh, hey, Sean did this for me. Oh, Sean didn't do that for me. Oh, I didn't get a candle when we opened Escrow. I didn't get the box of chocolates, whatever it might have been. This is going to allow you to set yourself apart by really creating a robust system within Command and allow you to automate that. Now, guys, I know I just went through a lot of information and that was really quick. Like I mentioned, I do have a full 1-hour class that is going to deep dive into creating the checklist and also taking it another level further so that the system is automatically telling you, hey, it's time to call this person. It's time to text this person, email them, etc. So I hope to see everyone there on July 11th, once again at 12 o'clock. Also, if anyone wants to meet with me before then, I will make sure that I have my Calendly link here in the Zoom meeting chat, as well as I will make sure that everyone has access to that as well. Thanks again, guys, for having me.
Awesome,
Right on,
Sean.
Sean.
Thank you very much. Sean, we have a question for you, sir.
Yes.
I set up a Facebook ad and set up my Twilio account. I received a call today that somebody had called on that number. Is that normal to receive calls on the Twilio number?
Yeah, so when you are using Twilio, it may be the first point of contact that client is actually seeing you. So if you're using the integration with Command and someone signs up on Facebook, you might have a smart plan that will automatically text them via Twilio. And so that's the number they're seeing. It is a separate cell phone number from our personal number that we use, or our business line. You do have to set up call forwarding though. So if you have not set up call forwarding in the system, then the number will not ring through to your cell phone. Though it is very easy for us to do and set up on the back end of Twilio. So that way, when someone does call that cell phone number, it does forward to your cell phone. Now, keep in mind when they are making calls to that number, it is charging you credits through Twilio. So a lot of people will end up just answering the call and then calling them back on their cell phone saying, hey, I'm on the other line, can I call you back? And then they'll call them from their personal cell phone number versus the Twilio number to save them on those credits that they're using every single minute. So feel free, send me an email, and I'd love to go ahead and sit down with you, and we can go ahead and make sure you have Twilio fully integrated so that the calls are forwarding correctly. Great question, thank you.
Hey, Sean, if you could do me a big favor, sir, just put in your email in the chat too. That would be
perfect. Awesome. I'll go ahead and put my email as well as my calendar link in there for everyone to have. Thank you.
Any other questions? Beautiful. Thanks again, Sean. Appreciate the information.
Thank you, guys.
Good on, Sean.
All right. Okay, Nat, let's continue. Who is next? Okay, Mr. Chris Rivera with Cross Country Mortgage. I gotta get used to saying Cross Country Mortgage.
Cross Country Mortgage.
And did you lower our rates yet?
I'm working on it. It's in the plans. I think in the short term, we're probably gonna see a relief in rates. And speaking of rates, where they're at today, jumbo is probably around 5.25, depending on your FICO score, loan amount, LTV, that sort of thing. High balance is right there about 5 3/4, 6%. High balance and actually right there again, depending on your LTV, FICO score, and other parameters. So you can see rates have inched up to 6%, right? So I'm hearing a lot of calls coming in from people and speculation here that, hey, the market's changed. We know that. Interest rates are so high, people are now backing out. They don't want to buy it, right? They get skittish, they get cold feet. And I too do understand that. I mean, rates have trickled up pretty significantly over the last 6 months. I mean, God, we were at 3.25 just at the beginning of the year. Now we're at 6. So that 3% increase has really hampered people's buying power. I've told you guys this before, that every 1% either increase or decrease changes their monthly payment by 10%, or really their buying power by 10%. So they've effectively weighted themselves out, because the market's priced them out now by 30% of their buying power. So how do you get some of that back? You start looking at adjustable mortgages, maybe a little bit lower interest rate. That way it's a little easier for them to qualify, maybe qualify for a larger home. But people that you have had qualified just 6 months ago, you need to get them requalified, making sure they can still afford what you're home shopping them for. But I wanted to talk today about the rumor that I'm hearing that people have cold feet. And, you know, I got to tell you, I do a lot of first-time homebuyer seminars, and a lot of the questions I get right in the beginning is, when is the good time to buy? When is the right time to buy? And my patent answer is always, when you can afford it. When you qualify for that mortgage, and when you have the down payment and closing costs necessary to close your transaction, that's when you should buy it. You really can't time the market. You can't. And I mean, if you think about what people have experienced over the last 12, 18, 24 months, when they've gone out there trying to home shop, they've been, really inundated with a lot of buyers. They've got into bidding wars. They've never even had an opportunity really to even get the house, because by the time they got there, there was already 20 offers on the home. There was so much competition. But right now, because rates have gone up, they still qualify. Now, this is given they still qualify for it, they still have the down payments. There's less competition. They have the ability to actually get into a transaction right now. Yes, rates are high. But the second thing to that is rates are high because of the inflation numbers that we're experiencing. The Feds are doing everything they can to curb inflation, right? They're raising rates kind of curbing the demand side of the equation. We get that. That's going to happen. Inflation will come down. We will get that under control. But once it's under control, where are we going to be at? We're going to be in the stalled market. And what is the Fed's going to have to do at that point to spur the economy? Lower rates. So the people who are into the deals right now at 6%, they got into the home. They got the transaction. The long game here is that they're going to be able to refinance in 9, 18 months out and get themselves into 5, 4, 3% possibly. We can't predict that, but we do know rates will come back down because of just all the factors that I've laid out for you. So it's a good time for people to buy.
Are you finding as a result, most of your loans that you're doing now, are they adjustables now? You know, and what kind of adjustables are being offered right now?
Yeah, so a 7/1 ARM right now is about 5%. You can get it down if you want to pay points about 4 3/4. But they move daily, just like every other rate. But yes, we are seeing that, but more on the higher end. Everything I'm taking that's got a loan amount of like $1 million plus, they're really taking the 5 or 7 year ARM. Those people are a little bit more sophisticated and they understand how it works. The ARM product, just so you guys know, is fixed for that period of time, whether it's 5 years or 7 years or 10 years. So they've got protection from interest rate hikes for the next 5, 7, or 10 years. And then after that, it doesn't balloon. There's no prepayment penalty on these loans. The borrower can refi whenever they'd like. And again, when the rates come back down, they've gotten themselves into a lower interest rate, but when the rates come back down, they can refi. And the same thing I told you earlier about 1% increase or decrease changes your monthly payment by 10%. Remember, if they ink a deal at $800,000 loan amount, let's just hypothetically say their mortgage payment's $4,000 a month, just so you can see it. If they get a 2% reduction in interest rate, that's a 20% reduction in payment. You're looking at $800. They still have the same house. So the goal is for them to buy a house. So when people tell you that they're getting cold feet, that I'm going to wait because I think the market's going to come down, I think they're doing themselves a disservice because right now they have limited competition. They have the ability to possibly get into the home. Rates will kind of come down for them and they'll be able to refinance. And the whole speculation that the market is going to decrease, I think that's kind of a fallacy as well. I think that's more for themselves, the personal, I hope. I want that to happen. Of course, we all want to have a lower sale price. I get that. But we're not working on the supply side of the equation, are we? We're just really working on the demand side. So until we get that supply side up, how are we going to get more homes to the marketplace? And you guys know this all too well. The reason why values are high is because we have limited supply, the scarcity issue. We haven't fixed that. It's coming. It's going to take some time. And when it does, then we probably will see an equilibrium and values come down. When is that? We don't know. It's not going to come in the next year or two. It's going to be a while. So, prepare your scripts. And I think Simon was talking about it earlier in the meeting about the shift. How do we have that conversation with our clients? So you guys should be able to roll this off your tongue, be able to tell them 3 straight points. The fact that you have lack of competition, that's a huge bonus, right? Interest rates are going to come down. Explain to them why, right? And then why values aren't going to come down. Really, there's no supply coming into the South Bay. I don't know, a large development happening, but anyway, that's kind of the conversation that I've had with agents over the last week or two. I know it's one of those things, the ground has shifted, but I think if you're prepared and you can have that conversation with the client early on and let them know, this is a great time to buy. It truly is a great time to buy because you can buy. Because if you tried to buy over the last 12 or 18 months, you didn't have an opportunity because you were going up against 40 people, right? Anyway, that's my spill. I'll get off my soapbox.
Before he gets off the stage, something very clever that I saw happen yesterday. So I'm gonna just let it all out. A lot of information, right? And as professional realtors that we are, we're not in the lending aspect of it, right? Get together with either Fernando or Chris and do a video. And have them do a quick tidbit of a 2-minute segue of what's going on. And now start sending those text videos to your clients as an avenue to really promote what we're saying. Because as he said, scarcity, right? That's what we're seeing a lot. But how do we battle that? well, being informed, right, and understanding the market, so.
Just piece of advice.
Yeah, that's kind of weird being on camera, but that's all good. Anyway, any questions? All right, like you said, if you guys would like to do video, I'm open all the time. I don't mind. It was more of a relaxed setting.
Yeah.
They just kind of videoed me talking, because I truly believe this, and you guys need to believe it to your core as well. Because when you get that out to your client and you believe it, they're gonna believe that you believe in what you're saying, and you're more apt to get it. Yes, sir.
Those farm programs, do they qualify at the starting point or you?
It depends on what program it is. If a 7-year or above, they're gonna qualify at the no rate, yes. Yeah, you go into the 5 years and it's a little different, you want to set +2 or fully indexed, just depending on the lender. Right. Yes.
I've had people ask me about the Forgivable Equity Builder Loan Program. Do you know about that?
We don't. I know about them. We don't offer it yet, but it's in the works. It's funny you should say that, 'cause we just got a memo this morning saying it's in the works. So basically, it's going to be a down payment assistance program, right?
Yeah.
And it's a forgivable grant they're gonna give after a period of time. But we don't have the specifics yet, because our company hasn't rolled it out yet, but they're talking about it. But yes, that's one of the things that are out there. I think first-time homebuyer programs themselves are gonna make a comeback. Although those rates are really ugly, I mean, we're pushing 7%. So, you just gotta kind of get over that. But again, if it gets them the down payment, they qualify for it, they get into the home, they can refinance down the road. All loans that we do right now come with no prepayment penalty. So you can pay them off whenever you'd like. So yes, the rate's high, but you can afford it because we're not gonna give it to you. There's no stated income. You've gotta be able to qualify for it, so you can't afford it. The rates will come back down, we just have to educate them why. Right. Yes.
Will there be another first time home buyer seminar in the office?
Yes, it's gonna be scheduled in July.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. We're still working on the date, but it'll be in July, yeah. And those programs, they're out there and they have a lot of money because they haven't been given a lot of money out in the last 2 years. Because you guys know, you couldn't get a 20% down offer, accept it, let alone a down payment assistance program that's coming from a county or state program. So they've got a lot of funds out there, but yes, we will have it next month. Any other questions? All right, well, I'm done. I can get off the stage. Let's see you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. All right, let's continue. Next slide, please. All right, we got Fernando Diaz. He's also going to tell us about the kayak event. Fernando, come on up.
Before we get to the fun, let's talk about a couple of things, guys. So I had a conversation with a few of you earlier today. One great thing to give stability to your clients and also your sellers that are worried about what they're going to do the minute they sell their house and they're going to be out of the house. What do I do? Take advantage of our lock and shop program, guys. It's been, I would say, almost 4 a week that I'm getting where we're locking clients in anywhere between 3 to 6 months, and it gives them security. It almost gives them like a sigh of relief because now they know that they cannot do any worse than where they're at. They're protected. Obviously, don't do a 90-day deal and get them in escrow on day 89 because that's going to be a problem, obviously, right? And I think Laura and I were talking about it earlier. Concessions from a seller obviously help pay for a lot of those costs. And if they wouldn't want to buy the rate down further, if you get a big concession from a seller, which by the way, we see it's changing, it's happening more and more. This is a great way to give your clients stability and peace of mind, right? So when you, like Chris said earlier, you get a lot of, hey, where's the market going? I'm nervous, especially if you own and sell, because a lot of people are like, now what do I do? Where am I going to go? Okay. And what does it look like in 3 to 6 months if I sell? Our rate's going to be the same, or are they going to jump another point higher? Obviously we don't have the true answer to that yet, but it is what it is, right? So that's one of the things that, and by the way, I'm gonna do a little like lunch and learn thing for you guys, so we can talk more in depth about this, because you can do a lock and shop, we allow it up to 1 year, but don't think it's not cheap if you're gonna do that. So obviously, let's be real, right? If you have a buyer that says, hey, I wanna do it, hey, let's lock it in and done. Odds are, if they're fully qualified and ready to go, should it take you more than 60 or 90 days to turn it home? Probably not. So I don't think you need to really stretch that out too far because of the cost of it. So that's issue one. Now, exciting news. You guys have heard of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, right? Everybody knows them, basically conventional loans and blah, blah, blah. So Freddie Mac just announced that they are now, we can do it, take ADU income to qualify. So in the past, that was never allowed because it wasn't a true second or third unit, even though it is a fully rentable unit. It's kind of silly. But you got to also realize that Fannie and Freddie look at things at a national level. And the ADU thing is really big here in California, especially Southern California. So it's not, something that they've had at the, front of their mind. So now anyway, we can use it on SFR 2 and 3 units, not on 4 units, because then you go into 5 and then it's considered commercial. But we can do it to owner occupy and also as an investment. Still use that income. There is a caveat. You either have to have rental management experience, or you can take their first time or rental education class online. It's fine. So there is a way around it. And then I don't know if you have flyers. What's that?
Is this for refinance too?
Refinance, yes, but you cannot use ADU income if you're gonna take cash out. But if you're gonna refinance, yes. Yeah. So you can do that. So we'll do a little lunch and learn here in July, talk a little bit more about that. Also, like Chris said, first time buyer programs are coming back. I've already seen, an uptick in our pre-approvals in that direction. FHA, I saw it this morning, a standard California program is actually not too bad. It's 5.125 on FHA. But the minute you start asking for extra subsidies, it goes to 6 and even 7%, which is really bad for the buyer. Not good, not good. What was that?
Ask for what?
Ask.
It goes up if you do what?
If you ask for the additional subsidies, like their ZIP program and things like that, it starts taking a dramatic increase up. So you're better off just doing a straight California HFA program if you're gonna do it with your standard 3%, I think it's 3.5%, call it my home assessment, and get the seller to pay all the rest of it if they don't have a lot of money. That's your best bet. Because if you go into the ZIP side, you start cranking up the rate and you lose power. The other thing too is they made a change. They go to 50% backing ratio with over 700 FICO. Whereas they were not doing that before, they were sort of holding steady around 43%. So that's also a little help to your buyers, if they need to get there. So that's that. And then I don't know if you have a flyer there.
Yes, next slide, please.
Now let's talk about fun.
Fun stuff, yep.
Here it is. So a lot of guys, this will be like, I think our third one for sure. I don't know if those of you guys have participated with us in the past on this. So we go right out here to King Harbor, the Redondo Beach Marina. And there's a little spot there that has kayaks and paddle boards. So obviously I'm in a kayak because I'm supplying the beer out there. So I can't paddleboard, stand up and drop it all over the ocean. So if we catch conditions right out there, there is a sandbar out there where the tide is low and we can just stand out there in the middle of the harbor, knee-high water. Very clear too and clean out there. You guys can see the seals because they obviously live there, the whole family of them, and they also hang out at the big bait barge. They hang out there. So that is coming up on Friday, July 22nd. We're gonna meet there at 1 o'clock. Bring sunscreen, sunglasses, bathing suits, flip-flops, and then we'll go to Naja's, which is right there, literally 20 yards over, and have a little happy hour fun. And that's it. Unless you have any questions on this. That's it.
Let me ask you a question about
Oh wait, I have a good one. You gotta watch this guy. If any of you want entertainment, Gary kayaking. Here it is. If we had to go, if you're going from here, let's just say to the coffee bean on the corner, call it 100 yards, right? You would go 100 yards, right? Walking directly to it. Gary goes 500 yards to get there because he goes right, and then he goes left, and then he cannot go straight. It's amazing. So if you want to see a guy work hard, there's your man. Anyway. Not a shark, it's a seal. Seals are fine, guys. We've never had any issues. I mean, has anybody even had an attack? I've never been attacked by a seal in the harbor. It's not there. Now, can I wholeheartedly guarantee you may not get bit by a seal, a fish, a shark, a clam? I don't know. No. But,
Just a waiver.
yeah, there's no waiver, sorry. No waiver. But yeah, this has always been fun. We've always had a decent turnout, 20, 25 people. You guys, the weather's gonna be perfect that time of year, so it's great to get in the water. I know Brian Sindel, there he is before that's JR, guys. JR.
This guy right here.
Oh, that's Aaron. Isn't it?
That's Aaron,
Yeah, but yeah, JR was with us. This was one of the last things we did with him. He's in a video. I think I gave it to Holland. I don't know if she's gonna play it one of these days, but it's there. I know Brian had his foot surgery, so he's he's thinking that by that date, he can at least be in a kayak and supply some beer for us. So he will be floating along with us down the way. So we usually go out for about an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. And Naj is right there, get some food, some beers, and hang out for a bit, and that's it. So unless you have any questions or anything else about these programs or anything else.
Just to make sure, if you do want to participate, that we get RSVP.
Please.
Get a
Yes.
head count. So just like yesterday that went bowling, so thank you everyone that went bowling, we had a huge success.
Did anybody break 140? I got 140. I beat you. Mr. Hotshot, Mr. his own bowling ball and everything.
That was an Al's help.
That was,
Actually, Alpine took some points over me. He went for my turn by accident.
I'll give you a strike.
So you got the spirit. You got it done.
we definitely need to start a team. I mean, I saw a lot of talent yesterday, so. Awesome, we'll do that again. I think it was fun doing bowling as well, so. Yeah,
But yeah, please RSVP guys, because obviously when I talk to the company that does this, they like to know the head count.
Yeah.
Because they do have additional kayaks and paddleboards and storage that they may have to bring out. And also, they have a limit. I mean, if we're gonna get, we've never had that issue, but if we have a massive number, that would obviously be a potential issue. So at that point, we probably have to do, they have the, what is it called, the foot paddle boards that they can sit 4 at a time in there. Throw some people in that too. So.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Thanks,
all right,
Fernando. Thanks for the RSVP. All right, we got Shift with Ed. Ed, come on up,
What's up,
sir.
everybody? So we're late in the game here, so I'll make this kind of quick. So we've been going through this book, as you guys know, here in every team meeting. Market is shifting, right? So there's 12 strategies in this book. That's all about how to deal with the shifting market and all that. We've covered the first 3, which were, anyone remember what those first 3 were? First one, first one's mindset, right? What was number 2? Anybody remember?
We got gift
Got
cards.
expense management, right? Managing your money. Number 3 was all leverage, right? Doing more with less. Number 4 is all about lead generation. How do you deal with lead generation when the market's shifting? Let me ask you guys, what have you guys noticed about your lead supply, your lead generation strategies here in the shifts? More leads, less leads? Less leads, right? Qualified buyers, harder to find, easier to find. Motivated buyers willing to wholeheartedly go out there and shop right now, easier or harder to find? Right? So what do you guys, what's anybody doing to handle this, to deal with it? Anybody? What are you guys doing?
Call more and persist and guide them if they have any questions. Help them understand the market.
Yeah, right. So Farrah, a couple things. One is I hear just like working harder, doubling down, right? Being more focused. That's the 4th strategy is all about lead generation. And yeah, that's part of it, is just like, hey man, now is the time to get really super focused about your lead generation. Those of you guys who are in bold, you guys are getting a great dose of this just by default, just from being there and going through that. That's perfect time now. So it just worked out so beautifully to start bold when we did in preparing for a shift, right? So part of it is just like focusing and doubling down. But Farrah also talked about some scripts to work with your buyers and sellers to make, part of it's about finding their motivation, about doubling down on that, making sure that you're spending your time with the people who are ready to pull the trigger and not the people who were ready to pull the trigger 6 months ago, because they may not be anymore, right? So if you've got those people, go back to them, re-engage with them, making sure that they're still motivated and ready for the change in the market, right? So that when we work with sellers, what does that look like? What are some of what are we trying to communicate with them right now?
Make sure they're priced ahead of the curve.
Right? So pricing expectations, right? A lot of sellers, the market was going on like this, and they're still thinking they're here. Well, the market's kind of gone like this. I'm not saying that prices have gone down. I'm just saying that they're still in the mindset of I'm going to get $200,000 over list price, right? That's a conversation I'm sure some of you guys are having, right? So you got to combat that.
If you listed for 100,000 and the house is worth $1 million, I'm sure you're gonna get well.
Sure.
You probably get 1 million over asking.
So yeah, like looking over your pricing strategy scripts, all that kind of stuff. And with your buyers, now you just want to make sure that, do they still qualify for what they still think they qualify for if you've been working with them for a while, right? So make sure that they're clear to go on that. And some people have just been flat out like, well, I'm focused on this neighborhood, this price, I was prepared for this price as of 3 months ago, and that may not be the case right now, right? Not because the price has gone down, but because they may not be able to afford it anymore. So make sure that they still are in the game. They, want to make sure, hey, look, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, this is what we can afford right now with where you're at. This is what we can afford. Are you good with that? Are we ready to pull the trigger? If we find that tomorrow, is that a go? Oh, well, I'm really still hoping we can find, I'm just hoping there's gonna be a really good deal out there that's 30% under, in that neighborhood that I thought I could afford. It's probably not gonna happen, right? And if you get it,
competition.
yeah, right. And then the good news is you tell them, well, hey, look, the good news is that you're not gonna have as much competition, right? But you wanna, and people have been saying it throughout this whole meeting, it's just like making sure that they're still good to go with what's out there, right? And there's scripts to combat that and let them know, like, hey, there's gonna be less competition out there right now. Right, so that's kind of how we deal with some of it. I encourage you guys to please, this fourth tactic is way more than we can cover in 5 minutes. We can't do that right here. It's like it's the longest, I think, of all the tactics in here. It's like 20% of the book or 25% of the book. It's long, and there's a lot of really great stuff in there. It talks about figuring out what lead sources are working for you. So you may want to what are you currently doing as far as lead sources? List them all out. If you're doing 10 different lead sources, list them all out. Okay, how many leads have I gotten from all of them in the last 6 months? Because you may have some on there that are like, okay, let's put those aside for a while and focus on what's working now. And then doubling down, working on those scripts and all that kind of stuff. But please read it. It's really, really good. There's more that I can cover in these 5 minutes. And then of course, Natalie, is the next slide shift with James Shaw?
Yep. Next slide.
So who here knows James Shaw, like during when 2020 happened, the pandemic, and we were all on Zoom calls? Anybody remember James Shaw? You do? Anybody else? Really? Okay, so he was on a lot, and he was one of the people who was really helped Keller Williams agents all around the country transition their business right when the pandemic happened in the beginning of 2020. It was a really remarkable person. Super knowledgeable about shifting markets and all that kind of stuff. Since then, he's had a Facebook group, and I think he does videos like once a day or once a week. The Facebook group is Pivot Shift, if I remember correctly. But anyways, super knowledgeable guy, amazing instructor. He's a Maps Bold coach, I do believe, and he's like way up in the Keller Williams world. We're lucky to have him here in the region. It's going to be a great event. I will tell you, because you guys know I make a lot of recruiting calls. I have lots of agents coming from other companies, or their companies provide them with nothing to help them survive this kind of stuff. So please, let's just not have all other agents from other companies. We brought it to the region for you guys, right? So please sign up. It's not, I think it's $90 something, money very well spent for a day with James Shaw. It's not like you're not just going to show up and listen to a lecture all day long. It's like, bring your shift book. If you have your numbers, your P&L sheet or whatever, bring some of your research from your business, because you're going to be doing work during the day. It's not just it's a workshop, a true workshop, not a lecture. So I hope to see you guys there. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys are too. Any questions about lead generating during the shift or about this event? None at all? Because I blew you away with so much great content, hopefully, right? Maybe not. Anyways, I hope you guys read it. It's some great stuff in the book. Don't just take my word for it. Take it directly from the source. And I hope we see some of you guys on July 27th. All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Ed. A lot of information. Now to the boring stuff. Does everyone know that every year there's 2 updates on zip forms and contracts? I know Steve knows that. You know what months those are?
It's April, June 19.
It's what?
It's June 19.
It's typically on June and typically in December. Okay, so we have the new revised and new contracts that just came in last week. So there's 6 new contracts now part of zip forms, all right? So Nat, okay, thank you. These are the 6 new contracts that are new this year. Commercial seller property questionnaire is a new contract. I'm not going to go through it because there's a lot of content on this, but we are going to send you an email with all the new contracts and the new revised, such as like the RPA, the residential purchase agreement. They add, they take. Who's shooting here? The other one is the DDA, designated electronic delivery address amendment. The FAAA, sounds like we're flying planes now. Fair Appraisal Act addendum. Pretty interesting. I actually saw it for the first time. This morning, one of the agents brought it to my attention, not realizing, ooh, yeah, you know what? Now with everything that's going bananas, right? Okay, this is the one that's actually came in effect. Now it says July 1st, but technically speaking, it didn't show up till like the 18th or the 23rd is when we saw the updated information. The next one that's new is the independent contractor agreement form, binding, non-binding, and combined, your ICA forms. The next new one is the MUPA, which is the mixed use purchase addendum. Okay, that's a new form that's now part of our ZIP forms. Last but not least is the NSF, okay, non-standard form advisory. And the cool thing is when you get the email, you're going to see the illustration on the side. What is this form and what is the form utilized for? What's the purpose of that form? Okay, and then the rest are either things that are deleted, removed from the contract, or added. As an example, the CC form, the cancellation of contract, right? What it says, oops, right here, paragraph 2C2 was modified to reflect the 3% cap on liquidated damage only applies if the property is residential with 1 to 4 units, one of which the buyer intends to occupy. Paragraph 2C4 was added to address the situation when escrow needs to be canceled, but no deposit been made. So again, added information. I love it. Okay. So these are, yes, sir.
Speaking of contracts, I'll give a little commercial on tape. I'm doing another contracts class for KW Coastal. So a week from Saturday, July 9th, from 9 to noon. So if any of you want to come to Long Beach and sit in on the class, call KW Coastal to be able to RSVP.
You cover the changes?
What's that?
You cover the changes?
I'm not covering the changes, I'm covering the basics.
Which is very important. Get back to the basics.
Absolutely.
All right, any questions regarding the new revised forms? Okay. Nat, please make sure to get the email sent out to everyone. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. All right, that concludes my update for today. Any questions? Very good. All right, last but not least, yes. Oh, who wants candies? Fernando, come and help me.
Throw it out there.
I don't want the liability.
See, nobody wants liability.
So we'll let Woodbridge take the responsibility.
Who likes chocolate covered espresso bean? Oh, man.
All right.
That's an easy one.